go, guys. Ramadan day 2. Here we go.
Going strong, maybe.
Going strong.
Going strong.
Hey guys, so I just finished up training our 12 o'clock class today, and I got a question when I posted a photo, good old photo of Shiha and myself. Anyway, the question is from Muhammad Fatih, and he's asking, when is the best time of day to work out or train martial arts during fasting in Ramadan? I'm going to my Kung Fu class today at 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Got to bring dates and water along. So generally when it comes to fasting and training while fasted, what the time of day and all that, it depends on your goal and target, right? So for me, my goal when it comes to training in martial arts, jiu-jitsu, karate, what have you, during the month of Ramadan while fasting is to simply be a means of developing discipline. Right? So it's not so much about fat loss. It's not so much about doing cardio or anything like that. But the objective is for me to establish and maintain a discipline, something that I started last Ramadan. And so in fact, the whole objective of me starting training jiu-jitsu last year was in May, just before Ramadan had started. 1 week before Ramadan started, I started training jiu-jitsu, and the objective was, while Ramadan is happening, while I'm fasting, while I'm also meeting all my daily work and family obligations, for me to also attend class on the regular. And so the idea was that if I can establish a regular schedule and keep to that schedule during the month of Ramadan, during fasting where I'm tested, then to maintain a schedule like that through the rest of the year where that challenge is not there should be significantly easier, and there should be no excuse. So that's the idea and thinking behind training while fasting in Ramadan. Having that understood, at that point the objective became not so much about what is the best time or hour to train. At least for me, it was more so get to training, maintain minimum twice a week, and if you can, 3 to 4 times a week of training during Ramadan. And so that way I can keep that training through the rest of the year. So now coming into this Ramadan, the objective is the same, is to maintain that discipline. And so again, now this Ramadan for me is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more challenging in the sense that I'm going to be traveling 2 weeks out of the month. So even with the travels, what do I have to do? Not can I, but what do I have to do to maintain my regular schedule of training? Now, the next question of what would be the ideal time, the best time to train while you're fasting? Well, to answer that question is going to be also dependent on what works for you, right? If you're talking about energy, naturally speaking, the lowest point of your energy is going to be towards the end of the day, just before you break your fast, because that's also when you are the most depleted. However, for me, I have found that to be like the best time to train, because the breaking or the opening of the fast when the sun sets right after class is like the most sweetest breaking a fast, that that experience of drinking that water and having that protein bar or shake or whatnot right after class is just sweet, right? It's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just this relief and this feeling of gratitude and all that comes over me. For that reason, like, I like the evening training, and usually my evening classes are between 7 to 8 or 6:30 to 7:30 depending on the day. The sun sets as of right now here in Houston around 8 o'clock. So perfect timing in terms of when the class ends. As soon as class ends, boom, it's time to open your fast. So in your case, if that's something that you would like to do, you want to train at the end of the day, then definitely bring your dates and water or shake or any electrolyte based drink or what have you. You'll just have to take a break in the middle of class to open up. Right now, I just came back from a midday class, and now for me, I find that the midday class is the hardest because to make the midday class is like, I gotta make time. And so for me, it's just like, hey, you know what? Get as much work as you can get done. You got that deadline, make it to class, make it back, get back to work. And so, and at the same time, you just have that challenge of like, all right, you know what? I just did the midday class, and all of a sudden it's just like, you know what? I'm going to be at an energy deficit before the breaking of the fast. The other thing that could also be of benefit, and if you really want to have a class where, okay, you're going to be fasting during the day, but it's the first thing that you do in the morning. And so we have a 6 o'clock in the morning class. And so that could be an option too, if that's available. Whereas you've, eaten your early morning meal, maybe around 5 o'clock in the morning, you had an hour to digest, or maybe 90 minutes to digest. It's not too heavy. And so you get to class, you train hard, but you still be fasting. You'll still be training in a fasted state, so that, and what that means is that now you're already going to have sweat out and might be a little bit dehydrated. And so you're going to have to spend the rest of your day like that. So that might even be harder. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to what it is that you're willing to do. In terms of when is the best time to train for other objectives, right? So if you talk about training for fitness, training for fat loss, doing fasted cardio or fasted strength training or fasted whatever, right? Jiu-jitsu is almost pretty much like cardio. But if your objective is to also attain fat loss, then one of the things that might be of benefit to you, it's not a bad idea to train in a fasted state even towards the end of the day, so that your body's even more insulin sensitive. You're fasted, you train, you're dehydrated, your body's ready to take in nutrition. And so when you do that, that might be a good time to do it. But generally speaking, like when it comes to timings of workouts and fat loss and things like that, these are all optimizations. If you're really targeting fat loss, what's going to have a greater effect than timing of breaking your fast and all that, the greater effect is going to be in terms of counting your calories, really, generally speaking. Whatever your target weight is, let's say I'm like 200 pounds. Like, let's assume I want to be 185 pounds, then I would want to cap my caloric intake at 1800 calories perhaps, or 1850 calories. Basically, whatever your target weight is at a 0, that's how many calories you want to eat. And at the same time, do your exercise, and boom, that's going to be your targeted fat loss. Make sure you're getting your protein in terms of your lean body mass and grams of protein. General principles. That's going to give you greater results in terms of fat loss than timing of workout in relation to when you're fasting and when you're not. All of that is just optimizations if you're already on if you've already got all the other bases covered. So I hope that answers your question. Ramadan Mubarak. Day 2 of Ramadan. We're about halfway done. Looking forward to a blessed month and keeping up our training, keeping that energy up. And as per the slogan that I came up with when I went on my Austin ride last weekend, focus on finishing strong, then you can rest in a position of power. I'll see you guys later. Talk to you soon.